Radio IoT Week podcast.
Back here in the studio, we now have Helle, who is a manager from Sigfox. Helle Pask. From Sigfox, who is the manager of Sigfox, who is IoT Denmark is the exclusive Sigfox network operator in Denmark, and Sigfox is a global network dedicated to Internet of Things.
Yes.
So and now Denmark have a nice, friendly topography. So you have, like in Denmark, you have a huge coverage, but it is actually also in a lot of other countries all over the world.
Yes, it is. We are 62 countries. And so it's all the same network all over, and but we are the Danish operator here.
And what is special about you, and what I would like to talk with you about, is that you operate the network, but then you also have all the things, so that which is actually usable for make IoT happen. So could you give us a few examples of what is it that you can supply the customers with on the IoT basis?
Well, one of the things that we really have a good success with is monitoring the tank levels of the diesel tanks at the farmers, so that they can actually plan the refill so they don't run out when they're, for instance, if they're in the middle of their harvesting, they can actually get their fuel. They make sure that the fuel's actually there and not run out, maybe over the weekend or stuff. And we also have smart temperature monitors for grain silos, so that they know already what the temperature is in the middle, so the grains are still healthy. So they can actually act instantly if the temperature suddenly rises. They know instantly that they need to do something. They need to air it more or do something. You can also use it for protecting farmhouses if they're remote. If it's not your own, a lot of farmers today, they have several outbuildings or several farms. So you want to protect your farms, and you don't want to make sure that you know if someone's coming in, or if a gate is getting opened and you're not there, if it's the horses or someone else, and they are the people coming around and they're opening up the gate, you'll be able to know that the gate is actually open instead of being closed. Or something simple as tracking of your agricultural machinery, so that if you've got more farms than one, or just if you've only got that one, you know where your harvester is, where on the field, or you know even how much is actually being used, which optimizes the usage of maybe you're sharing this harvester with other farmers, and you then know if they're used or not, or if it's to do with, is it worth having this expensive equipment if it's not actually being used as it should be?
And would you say that it's the reduction of cost that is a main driver for the farmers to do this, or is it in ways of growth, or is it?
I think it's both, and I also think it's to do with the environment as well. Because if it's to do with the tank monitoring, for instance, it's to do with, you want to have the harvesting done as quickly as possible, and you don't want to have people standing and not being able to do anything, or maybe suddenly the grains on the fields they just they go off, or you need to be out there, or the weather is not correct, so you need to be out there. So that's definitely to do with cost or efficiency. But it's also to do with environment. If you are looking into what's the moisture of the soil, for instance, you don't want to overwater stuff. You only want to water when it's really necessary. Or if to do with the temperature in the silos, maybe you don't need to blow air through the silo as often, or maybe you need to do it even more. But you want to do exactly what's needed and not excess. So that's, and also if it's to do with tracking, if you know exactly where your harvester is on the field, and you then know that every 20 minutes, half an hour, if it's going really, really quick with the harvesting, you want to know exactly where the next load, the empty trailer needs to be. So you actually can you don't have to drive around to find them, but you can actually go straight there. So it's efficiency, it's environment, it's also if you're able to do more within the same time. So that's the expansion, the growth. Yes.
And is this something which is used by a few like high-tech farmers or first movers, or so like for instance in Denmark? I mean, how many farms would this be used on?
It could be used on any farm whatsoever, because
but today, how many farms is it already used on?
Not that many. There is well, actually it's growing. I haven't got the actual number of all the farms. I know it's growing a lot. It's not just the Sigfox network that's being used. There's also the 2G network is being used for IoT devices, because it also depends on how much data do you need to transfer, what kind of data do you need to transfer. But it is, it's definitely growing a lot, and it's just, I wouldn't say it is exploding at the moment, but it's like any other community. If one finds that something is really good, and he recommends it to the next other one, within the network, it's exactly what's happening here, because it does work. You don't need to have access to the local Wi-Fi. You don't need the electricity, because it's all to do with batteries. And a lot of these devices, they keep the battery lifetime. It's between 2 and 5 years, depending on the device.
And you actually, because you took the step to actually have the things that the farmers can use, because as a network operator, it wasn't given thing that you should also have the small things that the farmers use out there, but you found that was necessary for you to actually make it happen, and to make somebody use your network.
Yes, because what we found was we are, as you already said, we're the operator, but it's really, really difficult to have a nice network if there's nobody using it. So for us to actually spread it out and get it out and being used, we discovered that we had to also sell the devices. So the network is not, we're not the only ones selling the devices that goes on this network. You can buy these devices from everywhere, but to begin with, we had to also look into selling these devices to actually get the network used and get it known and get it out there in the public domain.
Yeah. Helle Pask, thank you very much for stopping by the studio. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Radio IoT Week, brought to you by Cibicom.